We will begin by looking at a broad, general concept of entrepreneurship. And then, little by little, we will narrow it down and make it more precise, more detailed, more operational. But we will start with the broad, general concept. In a broad sense, we could say that entrepreneurship coincides with human action itself. In other words, every human being, every man, every woman, every one of us, when we act in any area where we pursue our interests, attempts to modify the circumstances that surround us today and achieve others which we consider more valuable tomorrow. We attempt to achieve the ends or goals that are valuable to us. Whenever we do this, whenever we act, we exercise entrepreneurship. I can understand that it comes as a bit of a shock, particularly during the first lessons, that I identify the notion of action with that of entrepreneurship. In fact, when we speak of an enterprise or an entrepreneur, we automatically associate that idea with a specific institution in the market, a business firm, a company that sells certain goods or services, etc. However, we are starting out with a much broader and more general concept of entrepreneurship. Even if this new general idea of entrepreneurship seems unfamiliar to us at first, when we equate it with the idea of human action, the view of enterprise as action is time-honored and has a long tradition behind it. Let us consider it. Etymologically, enterprise in English, or empresa in Spanish, derives from the Latin verb ineprendo, prendi, prensum, which means to discover, to see, to perceive, to realize something we had been unaware of before, to seize, like a person catching a fly. This Latin root has also entered other continental Romance languages. For example, in French, entrepreneur has the same etymological origin as empresario in Spanish. Ineprendo, prendi, prensum. Indeed, in France, the term entrepreneur arose as far back as the late Middle Ages, and it was used to refer to people in charge of carrying out weighty tasks, connected either with war or with the construction of the most important public buildings of the time. By the way, what were the most important public buildings in the Middle Ages in Europe? The cathedrals. So the master builders were called entrepreneurs. At the time, they were a sort of cross between architects and building contractors. They knew how to draw. They had their secrets and passed down their knowledge from fathers to sons. They were responsible for those magnificent projects, for the construction of cathedrals, those historic monuments. We have many of them in Spain: the Burgos Cathedral, the Segovia Cathedral, the Avila Cathedral, the Sevilla Cathedral. The burgomasters who had this last one built said, "Let us build such a cathedral that those who visit it in the future will exclaim, 'The people who set out to construct this building were crazy.'" It took decades, centuries to build a cathedral. In fact, back then, life expectancy was very short, and the one who started the project might die 10 or 20 years later, and so his son would have to take over, and then his grandson, until at the end of 100 or 150 years, the project came to fruition. Entrepreneurs in France were the people in charge of building cathedrals. In another Romance language very close to Spanish, Portuguese, empreiteiro, an entrepreneur. In Portugal, an empreiteiro is still, even today, a builder. Not long ago, I was responsible for a building project in Portugal, and one day someone came up to me and said, "The empreiteiro has just arrived," and it was the builder. Imagine that. In Portugal, even nowadays, the meaning originally attached to the term entrepreneur in France still survives. Over the years, in France, entrepreneur came to mean what it now means in English, and what empresario now means in Spanish, in any area in which this person conducts his or her activities.